Okay, we're
And
here.
we're live.
We're live.
This is the part where you play a theme song in your head
No,
because
I
we
can
don't.
play
Because
a
we
theme.
you don't need to because we don't play one on the movie reviews. We don't do one.
No, we don't.
So this is the part where you guys just take about 10 seconds to pretend like we had a theme song, and then
This is a theme song.
there you go. That's
This
it,
is a theme song.
and that's all you get.
Yeah.
But welcome to Sako and the Moon, our movie review, first one of season 6. That's Sako. She has like a whole spiel. She's gonna probably still tell you. Short version. She's been published 1,000 times. I exist in this space somewhere somehow, and we do things. And she wears a lot of hats, not figuratively or not literally, just figuratively. And I do a lot of things, not literally, just figuratively. And we're going to review the movie Thanksgiving. And now I probably stole an entire intro from Sako.
No, you're doing good. You're doing good.
I stole the whole intro from Sako.
Okay, so Thanksgiving 2023, Eli Roth. After a Black Friday riot ends in tragedy, a mysterious Thanksgiving-inspired killer terrorizes Plymouth, Massachusetts, the birthplace of the infamous holiday.
It's fantastic.
I loved it. Okay, so we have a... Do you want to tell the folks about the grading system?
So, long story short, we have a 4-star grading system, 4-star, based on 4 different categories. And there's some subcategories to kind of help us get to the point. So, to determine whether or not a star is given in a category, we just kind of go over these little elements. It gives us something to talk to. That's how this works. And in the end, we come up with a score about how well of a movie we felt this was. We do one for, let's see, theme, production, writing, and like casting people and such. I forgot what we call that one. But yeah, it's essentially 4 categories, 4 stars, and we're dope. So you should listen to us in our opinions on things.
Oh, it didn't save our thumbnail.
See?
That's okay. It's a shitty thumbnail, so
it's cool. My printer is losing its mind over here. I have not sent it one job. It's just flipping out.
Cleaning heads?
We'll go with that.
Okay.
It probably needs a little dusting.
Okay, so I have these banners. Let's talk about the theme a little bit.
Avoid corporate greed. There's your thing.
Corporate greed.
This whole thing is about corporate greed. This whole movie is about corporate greed and the ramifications of corporate greed in the most Eli Roth type of way.
Yes, indeed. And also being a decent human being. Like, just...
Don't suck.
Don't suck. Yeah.
That's the gist of it. That's pretty much the gist of it. But no, like this movie does revolve around corporate greed. So you have a store that's a big department type of store, big Walmart-esque store, and it's owned by this family. This guy owns it. It's his family. Imagine a small town where Sam Walton lived in the town, and that was the only Walmart, right? And he ran the town. Or if you read a short story on somebody's website called Such Is Life, it's like Waterman's in the town of Kingston. Yeah. Which is funny because I've been writing that story since like 2017, 2018. And this story, while the storyline is nowhere close to the same, the general premise is present. It's a town that has like one big major store run by one family, and that family is kind of praised and or hated locally. This family in this movie does get a lot of hate because they're open on Thanksgiving and everybody wants their damn waffle iron.
Because the first 100 people to get them get...
Yeah. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, as someone who used to work for one of these big box stores, if the sign clear, listen, if the signs clearly state that there's only 100 available, and you're about 200 people back, and this is the only reason you're there, walk away. Just walk away.
There,
You're not getting offline.
so the opening scene
You're not getting.
involves a stampede that happened, like riot that happens at a big box store like Best Buy
Right
or
Mart.
whatever.
It's Right Mart in the story.
It's Right Mart.
It's
Yeah.
Right Mart.
And of course, hilarity ensues as people get
trampled and they die.
trampled and die.
Welcome, Eli Roth. If you've never watched an Eli Roth movie before, I would love for this to be your first one.
Yes.
This would be a great way to introduce yourself to the filmography of Eli Roth. Like, just hold on to that for a little bit. We'll get into more of Eli.
We'll get into that later. Yeah.
This is all theme talk. This is a great opener to a particular director's work. Carry on, Sako. Carry on.
Okay, so tone. Like dark comedy? I don't know. I mean, it's a splatter flick.
Yeah, this is a comedic grindhouse horror flick. This is intended to be horror comedy. This is funny on purpose. You can tell by one of the kills in this opening scene in particular is a woman's hair gets stuck on the cart wheel, the wheel of a cart, or basket, or whatever, a trolley, whatever you call it, wherever you're from, shopping cart. And her hair gets stuck, and it like rips a piece of her like scalp off. She gets scalped from like, I don't know, gum in the hair or something like that. Like, that would not actually happen in any form of real life. No. You could have the most sensitive scalp skin ever, and it still would never occur to you ever in life. But the inclusion of such a scene is exactly why it's clearly a comedy. Yeah. So you have to understand that some of the stuff is going to be ridiculous on purpose. And that's how you need to frame the movie when you watch it. The tone is comedic.
Yes. Backstory. I have a bunch of trivia. Five things of trivia, because I could have kept going. I mean, there's a ton of trivia. Okay, so Eli Roth said the cat in the movie was such a good actor and performed on cue that he called him Leonardo DiCaprio. The name of the cat is actually Tonic, and he previously starred in Pet Sematary 2019.
DiCaprio. That's all I said. DiCaprio.
So the cool thing is Eli Roth wanted to answer the question of what happens to the pet left behind once the killer dispatches the owner, citing the question, who is going to take care of the dog now that the owner is dead? Right. I love.
Oh, so that was the guy who's leaving town scene. All right, so there's a scene. Okay, so we have to kind of frame it a little differently. So what was happening here, to clarify what Sako's talking about, there's a scene where, so you have the opening scene where a bad thing happened, and the killer is now coming after the people involved in that stampede. One of those people lives at home alone with a cat. And when the killer comes to dispatch said person, there's a cat who's just like, hey,
I'm hungry.
Hey. So the killer stops, opens up a can of food, gives him water, feeds the cat, pets it a little bit before he leaves. with the body of his previous owner. So that's what
Still bleeding on the floor.
so that's what Sako's referring to.
Yeah. I love that cat.
Great scene. And honestly, it's one of those wholesome moments where it's like you see the killer doing something really nice. Like imagine if you're watching, I always talk about this movie. Imagine if you're watching Scream and at some point Ghostface just like grabs a rag after he's killed somebody and like cleans the counter off.
Yeah.
Like it's like, I made a mess here. Let me just get that real quick. Just
Yeah.
clean it off. Or like if he throws a can away and it misses the garbage can, he comes back and picks it up and puts it in the garbage can. Like little things like that you wouldn't expect a killer to do. And it's just like, that's off.
But
I like it.
But I don't know how many spoilers we're giving. How many spoilers are we giving? Do we give a shit?
No. The movie's been out for 2 years. I say if the movie's been out for over a year and if it's available on streaming, you should be able to see it. Know that if
it's on Hulu.
If you're watching Sako and the Moon, you're going to probably get a spoiler. We're discussing the whole thing. We discussed the ending in parts of this. You're going to get the whole thing. So, spoilers be damned. Here we go.
Okay. So, yes, he takes care of the trash. Yes, he takes care of the cat. But he cooks a woman alive?
He does. She shouldn't laugh. I shouldn't smile. We're not good people, but it's okay. Because this
you almost think she's gonna get away. Like they draw it out to the point where you think she might get out, but no, she and the girl in the fridge ends up suffocating to death. You can only assume.
It's just crazy.
And he is a sordid folk.
It's wild. It's wild. Like the depth of his revenge. And I won't spoil the ending here at this particular moment.
No.
But when you find out who the killer is and you hear the killer's motivation, it's just like part of you is like, ooh, I get it, but this was a lot.
This like was cooking a woman alive is a big step.
It's like I get it. You're hurt by the events that took place a year ago. Something bad happened to you. And this is essentially your revenge. But damn, homie, like this far? It's a stretch. It's a stretch.
It's a stretch. Eli Roth wanted all the film's kills to be not only gory, but creative, paying homage to the creative kills of Golden Age slasher films such as Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street series, Happy Birthday to Me, 1981, and My Bloody Valentine, 1981.
My Bloody Valentine, one of those movies that takes place on a holiday outside of Halloween, which was the whole topic that we were discussing. So if you haven't seen the episode from last Friday, you should go see that.
It will be in the cards.
She does the things, so it'll be in the places.
According to filmmaker Eli Roth, the film that was advertised per fake trailer in Grindhouse 2007 was about a kid who's in love with a turkey, and then his father killed it, and then he killed his family and went away to a mental institution and came back and took revenge on the town. In an interview with Total Film magazine, Roth said that the full-length film isn't meant to fit that description anymore. We said, let's pretend Thanksgiving was a movie from 1980 that was so offensive that every print was destroyed. All the scripts were burned. The director disappeared. The crew members changed their names. One person saved the trailer and uploaded it to the darkest corners of 4chan, and now it's made it out. So this is the 2023 reboot. Once we said that, it freed us up.
So for those who don't remember, there was a double feature. I forgot what both parts were called, but there was like an intentional
Death Proof and Planet Terror.
So there was a double feature that was made, and there's this movie and this movie. And between those movies were fake trailers. There were just trailers made up to fit in the middle of these two movies. It was all part of this production. It wasn't like, hey, we have other movies to put out, so let's put in some trailers. No. They just invented these movie trailers for the sake of this full production being presented as a double feature, is why we use quotes. Because it is one movie
with a bunch of fake trailers.
But it's presented as two movies with fake trailers in the middle. And one of those fake trailers was a movie called Thanksgiving. And like Sako said, this is not that movie, but we knew the lore leading into this. So that was the story that Sako just told. That was how they went from, well, this is what people saw. So if you were expecting this is what happened, leading us to get the movie you're going to actually watch. That's what's happening. That's the backstory to that backstory.
Right. And they've done it to a couple of the trailers that were in Grindhouse.
And it's funny how how fake movies and fake books become real things. Might be something we explore on a later date. But Midnight Mass?
Yeah.
So there's the show Midnight Mass, which is based off a book. But the book is an in-universe book from the movie Hush. So if you go back and see it, go back and watch our review for Hush. But the deaf woman in Hush wrote a book, Midnight Mass. She was in the process of working on the sequel to Midnight Mass when the events of Hush take place. To her, as she's trying to write the ending to that. Midnight Mass, that book that the character had written fictionally, is what the basis of the show Midnight Mass is from. So to take something in universe somewhere and bring it into a real life thing, it's becoming a much more popular thing nowadays. Like to take something.
Hey, I'm not mad.
I'm not mad about it. It shows how much creativity goes into filmmaking. Just in general, it's like if we were to work on something and have a character, in the process of making a fake movie, right? Like the characters are making a movie, to then turn around and release that movie would be creative. And it's one of those things that I don't know. It's a trend that's kind of, I guess you can call it a trend, but I'm here for it.
It's a trope, for sure.
We'll go with that. Yeah, it's becoming a trope leading to trend,
which I'm a fan of.
I'm down for.
Okay, so
are we at star judging point?
We are. I'm gonna say yes for the star. I mean, it's set out to be a slasher, a creative slasher, and I think it succeeded.
The tone is intended to be funny while also scary at times, but obviously not scary at a point where you're going to lose sleep. Maybe you won't let your 7-year-old watch it, but if your 7-year-old did watch it, they're just going to say and do dumb shit.
Yeah.
Won't turn them into a psychopath, and they won't lose sleep. There's an exploding inflatable turkey at the end.
Yeah.
So it was like, yeah, it's fun. And so even if you don't like horror movies, this is a fun movie to watch. I think you could still watch it. That's why you want to be scared.
I have to admit, I was clutching my bedding a couple of times during that movie. So like the tension is
The
nice.
tension is done. It's good storytelling. There
It,
is good
it
storytelling.
is. The
It's a
pacing is good, and we'll talk more
ridiculous
about the
story.
pacing later.
It's a ridiculous story, and we'll go into that more in the writing, but a ridiculous story, but told very well. I
Yeah.
loved it. Star for me.
Okay, cool.
1 star.
Let me make a note of that. Production. Boop. All right, the art direction. Hey, great composition. Every screenshot is a work of art. Great color against the desaturation of the whole mood of the movie.
Yeah, you can kind of see that in some of the color grading.
Excellent lighting despite some of the complications to make it happen. Like, just the art direction of this movie was just on point.
Leading to the cinematography, I feel like we can kind of discuss both at the same time with this particular movie.
Someone went to art school.
Someone was paying attention. Eli Roth, I won't say his movies are beautiful. They're not. But there is
at a technical standpoint,
there is a great use of color. I won't say that they're always like pretty, because when you go back to like Green Inferno or the one that's escaping me, Cabin Fever. Like, again, I wouldn't say necessarily they're beautiful, but as far as from a technical standpoint of the use of light and camera angle and conveying a point visually, which is the whole point in filmmaking, from that standpoint, fan fucking tastic. There is, I think, one of the best utilizations of this is, one, the opening scene. The kills are great, and they look good.
It's a great setting of tone.
So not only the opening scene, but the parade. So there's a point where there's a Thanksgiving Day parade, and so you have to understand that at some point they're making floats. They're making floats for this scene, and the floats are really nice. The makeup that people are in are nice. The costumes are nice, because this is a town where Thanksgiving originates, so it's a big deal for them. So it has more historical significance to them in Plymouth. So they treat it like a lot of people in the South treat Civil War enactments. So to utilize the costuming, the making of the floats for the parade, all the costumes that the regular people are wearing. Very similar to Scream 6. When we talked about Scream 6, the costumer didn't want to make professional costumes, because Scream 6, like most of the Scream, takes place on Halloween. So as people are going out on, their trick-or-treating or their Halloween parties, they realized that they couldn't make professional looking costumes, because these are supposed to be costumes that regular people made at home. And that same vibe exists here in that particular scene. Looking at the difference between like the high school colors and the high school rivalry that kind of takes place at one point. The pictures of people's houses and how the color just changes. There's Yulia, which is like she was like a Russian daughter, I guess, like the Russian mobster's daughter. Her scene, her room was so bright, so pink, so well lit. But even though the house is under construction, it still looked really, really nice in this rich girl's room, compared to even like the rich people's houses, which looks like older white people's houses.
Yeah.
It's like, if you have a cliched aesthetic, here it is. And it's presented very, very well. In contrast, it's shot well. The lighting was great. The set design was good. I loved it. If you
I
couldn't
think a
tell in my
star.
rant.
I think a star.
Yeah,
Like,
look, we've jumped straight to. I spoke so much. She's like, yeah, that's it. That's all I got to say. Yeah, star time.
I said everything. Well, the color of the blood was a wee bit coagulated.
It's a little. Yeah, it was a little dark.
It was a little dark, which would imply it's been dead a while. At least we saw the brain bits briefly. We saw the cooked flesh briefly. Like,
and I think that has more to do with the method of using practical.
Just long enough to put an imprint on your brain, but not long enough to dwell on it.
Yeah, because I think this movie uses a mix of CG blood and practical blood in certain scenes. Like the head peel off that I mentioned earlier, that was very, very, very practical. And we have a guest that's a makeup artist, and so we would talk to them a little bit about using of practical effects. But that's one of those things that's contentious when it comes to horror fans. Hey, if you're watching this, leave a comment about how red do you like your blood in horror. I know it's a weird question. It's a weird question, but there is a lot of contention.
How red do you like your blood? Yeah.
Because some people tell us how you like your horror movie blood. I know it's a weird question, but how do you like your horror movie blood? Do you like it thin and running? Do you like a bright red? Do you like it a dark red where it feels like does that feel like more genuine? Do you like a thicker consistency? Because even talking to people who produce horror films, there's a debate here. It's a debate here. There's always a contention.
If it's a fresh kill, right?
Highly oxygenized. It should be oxygenated, I guess, to be accurate. So it should be bright red. It
should be a bright red.
Yeah. It also goes into how much you understand about anatomy and biology. Like these things matter to people. There will be someone, I guarantee you, if you're a filmmaker out there, someone is going to tell you that your blood is either too dark or too thin or too thick or whatever for whatever they just saw. Someone is going to criticize. If you're describing your blood in your book or in your written literature, someone's going to say something. Call a nurse. We all know a nurse.
We all know a nurse.
I guarantee you, we all know a nurse. There's 6 degrees to Kevin Bacon. I guarantee you, we all know a nurse. Next time you go to the doctor, ask the question. Hey, I've asked my nurse friends some crazy questions before. I wanted to know what exactly happens when you drink bleach. Like, I wanted to know. So I was just like, so I was like, hey, this is going to seem like a weird question. You know what I do, so don't be too shocked. But what happens? Talk to a nurse. These are important questions. They matter. They matter.
Okay, so hi, Jenny. And she appreciates it to be bright red and thick. You know, like I make my own blood out of corn syrup. So
we buy ours. Hallett Hills, we buy ours.
I needed a lot of blood, like super fast. So
that makes perfect sense. Yeah, red food coloring.
Well, it's a different blend, but for colors and color theory is super important when making blood.
Art people here.
There's got to be a bit of blue in there.
This chick.
So, and maybe one of these days in a community post, I will post my recipe for blood.
I would, you know what I would also like? I'd like to actually just have a video of you making it.
Oh,
like not a show, just a
quick little
reel, like a little reel, like a Sako on the Moon exclusive reel. Just you making blood.
Making blood. Okay. I'm sure we can put something together.
We can figure that out. Yeah. Yeah,
All right. So I give it a star
yeah,
for production.
I agree. We didn't talk about makeup and props directly, but um, I mean, we kind of touched on it a little bit with the whole blood conversation. But yeah, you can't tell. We agreed. We liked it. We
We
enjoyed
liked it. We
the
enjoyed
practical
it.
effects.
The practical effects were, and
And they roasted a woman.
they roasted a woman.
We're coming back to this a bunch of times, but like, mind you, you have to have like the roasted woman on the table. This is right there.
Someone carried a plate with the woman on it without the head, so minus 30 pounds.
Her head's not that big. 30 pounds is rather heavy. That's a 3-year-old. 30 pounds is about a 3-year-old.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
I mean, I guess you do lose a little bit of mass when you roast.
Yes,
but
they use seasoning. Yes, there is a scene where he seasons.
he does.
Yeah.
And what's great is like it's not even in like the perverse way that you might think, I bet he seasoned that. No, he literally salt and pepper the bitch. Like it's so ridiculous.
Okay, so
It's so ridiculous. I love this movie so
we are
much.
finally at the writing.
Yeah.
So this is when we really talk about the nitty-gritty.
We've ultimately talked about it, but I guess the slightly more detailed version of what happened. So we said there's a big like Thanksgiving night sale, and there's a stampede. Hijinks ensues, and there's some bitterness between like a high school rivalry, and people want to get into this store to get their fucking waffle irons, and they get in. There's a whole Black Friday style stampede, which, by the way,
I have a story about that actually.
I'm gonna go on a slight tangent here, just a really brief one. There is zero excuse for grown ass people to walk into a store with other grown ass people and behave like this is the first bit of food that has landed on your abandoned island in the last 3 months. Like you're not starving and none of you all need waffle irons that fucking bad. But I'm talking not the fictional people, the real people. You people watch this at home, not you guys, because you guys really like the cold ones because you watch us. But the people that you see on the news clips, in these stores that like genuinely trample people. People have genuinely died in these types of trampolines. People have been like physically scarred for life in these types of Black Friday trampolines. Stop. Just fucking stop. Don't be a dumbass. That is really dumbass behavior. Don't do dumbass shit.
Well,
no, there's no excuse for it.
No excuse. Shit. No excuse. But some people are just downright evil.
Yeah, fuck them people.
Yeah. I used to work at I used to work at a toy store during Black Friday when the PS2 was released.
Yeah. No. See, I worked at Meijer. And I wasn't on like that staff, but I was like cleaning crew. So we were there, we were out and about, and I watched these people. And it was mind-boggling how you motherfuckers act. Don't. Just don't.
So a little boy got his PS2 and walked out and was super happy and getting ready to get picked up by his parents, and someone mugged him for it.
It's not that serious.
And he
The
came
game just
in
went
going,
obsolete in like 3
I was
years.
robbed, and we couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah, it's not that serious, y'all. It's not. None of it's that serious.
Yes.
None of it's that serious.
Yes. My
Oh God.
boss,
Oh no.
my boss dressed up as Elmo to draw in kids.
Oh no.
Like yeah, it was about the same time.
See, in our store, it wasn't the waffle iron, it was the DVD player. It was a DVD player, and I saw these people just like
Go bananas.
just ripping it. This has nothing to do with the movie per se, except for how real this opening scene genuinely is. So the way Eli Roth and them did this movie, it's satirical. But as with
It's
most
rooted
satire,
in
as
reality.
with most satire, there is some reality it's rooted into, and it's the most ridiculous concept I've ever like. I actually remember sending a clip of like a news clip of like a Black Friday stampede or whatever. I sent it to a friend of mine that lived in Germany because they didn't have Black Friday,
Thanksgiving or Black Friday,
right?
or
So
none of this
makes sense because they know what it is because they've been in America, but they lived in Germany, and she's like, that can't be real. I'm like, hey, I hate to tell you, this is from the news. This is like the bloody news, like back in 2009 when everyone actually trusted the news. Anyway, so back to the movie. If we can just hang off this tangent here for a second.
Okay, more on the plot.
back to the plot. So all this happens in the opening scene. As a result of this, 1 year later, Right Mart is looking to do another Thanksgiving evening sale again, despite this being a whole big deal and causing a whole lot of hoopla over the last 12 months. It seems insensitive. It seems irresponsible, but they're doing it anyway because money, money, money. What sparked off that riot was a few kids who had gotten into the store early because one of their fathers owns the store. And so everyone kind of got bitter with them for being inside the store early. One of them was recording with their phone, and that kind of makes this friend group a target for the killer. That's the plot that we hadn't touched on yet. And so everyone else that's targeted were like people who were like highlighted in the videos that were taken, the social media videos or whatever. This guy who took of this woman who took of that, blah, blah, blah. And that's how these people are targeted. And that's ultimately the source of the motivation of this killer. They're preparing for the Thanksgiving parade and all the events, and everything's kind of playing out leading up to this parade and the subsequent moments. That's enough of just the movie. Everything else is just kill fodder.
Just kill fodder, yeah.
And it's fun. It's just a fun horror movie.
It's a trip. Yeah.
It's fun. It's a if you have a bunch of friends over for Thanksgiving, I know it's past Thanksgiving now, but if you had a bunch of friends over for Thanksgiving, this would be a fun little.
Just have it playing in the background while you're feeding people. Yeah.
It's like, is that woman a turkey? Yeah, that woman's a turkey. Yeah.
That woman was a turkey.
Perfect for a Friendsgiving movie, or even just any fall, winter holiday background.
Yeah.
If you do like a Friends Christmas, play this movie. I know it's Thanksgiving. It's fine. It's fine.
Friends Festivus. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. It's a fun movie.
Okay. So dialogue. I guess it's believable.
Okay. So this is supposed to be taking place in relatively modern time. And it came out just a couple of years ago. I feel like these teenagers almost speak too intelligently. We were actually having this conversation about an hour ago, a little less than an hour ago, before we came on here, about how teenagers talk nowadays and what may be the motivations of that. That is not. I'm not going to bore you all. I'm not going to.
No, 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 no. That's a discussion for another time.
Yeah, that's not this show. This ain't that. But while there was some sort of youthful slang, I don't think it was. This sounds like youthful slang written by a person old enough to not use it. So if you're really considering, if you're young and you want accuracy, this ain't it. But if you are 30 or 40, then this sounds like teenagers talking. Smart kids are talking.
There is a scene near pretty much at the end of the movie where she is sleeping next to her boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
And they're in high school?
So were they still in high school?
Or were they graduate? They said one more year.
I can't remember. I know the one kid, Bobby, had gone away to college, but couldn't play baseball anymore as a result of the stampede. So maybe that was the case. They're either in the basic storyline of the movie, I think they're either seniors or have just graduated.
Right.
So, I mean, it's one of those
things. How forgiving his dad? Like, I don't know.
How attentive is dad? Because mind you, I think you're talking about the rich, the Reitmart's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
So
yes, yeah.
One of the subplots is the detachment that she feels from her father, as her father is like, dating some new chick or whatever. Oh yeah,
who is all about money.
I think her mom dies in the stampede.
Who was pregnant? Dun, dun, dun.
Who was pregnant? But by who? Anyway, so she was pregnant so she lost her mom in the stampede. So he's got new girlfriend or whatever, new step. She's got a stepmom. I don't think he was paying that much attention to her. Nothing ultimately was coming from that scene, so I don't really think anybody cared so much. Mm-hmm. It's one of those things I think was just kind of there. It didn't serve a big plot point for nothing.
It showed, and we'll talk more about this in characterization, but that transition between being the Richie bitch teenager, high school teenager, to being a paranoid woman, now that
I can see that.
that the thing is done and over and everything like that, she's still checking the closet at a paranoia sake.
She was definitely impacted by the events that took place in the stampede, but she wasn't like so much the rich bitch, right? She was a level-headed woman whose family had money.
Yeah. Okay.
So you had, and that falls into the she had to be level-headed in order to be the final girl of this movie. You had to have the boyfriend that was super popular, the jock friend, the girlfriend, the female friend over here, and then like the black guy.
Scuba, but short for Scooby. Or rather, Scooby was short for Scuba.
No, his name was Scuba. And the reason why his name was Scuba was because his last name was Diving. So they're like, last name Diving, we'll call you Scuba. His first name was like
Claude.
Clarence or Claude or something like that.
It was Claude, yeah.
And so then he's just like, yeah, there's a scene where he's called Scuba, and the cop is just like, what is your real name? He's like, well, why do they call you Scuba? I was like, my last name is Diving. He's like, oh, what's your real first name? Claude. Black guy named Claude. He's like, Yeah, Scuba. So,
Scuba is better. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. So his name was his nickname was Scuba because his last name was Diving. Kids in there play on names. Shout out to my friend Susan, who I call cute. To this day, I call her cute.
I thought it moved pretty quick for a 2-hour flick. Hey, I was a poet and didn't even know it.
As many times as you're published, I'm surprised your poetry book isn't out yet. It's 2026. That's what she's doing in 2026. I'm making that up. Do not hold her to that. Watch, now she'll just write one. She's like, I'm Sako to me.
I have poetry. Yeah.
There you go. See, look what I started. Look at me. Influential moon. Harbinger of chaos. That's what I do. No, but seriously, but like the pacing is good. There's enough happening. There's enough happening to keep your attention. I will say I do feel like the story is stretched out too long.
You think?
I do. I don't think that for what is happening in the story, we needed to tell it this much. There's a lot of little intricate layers to it, which I think is ultimately just being used to draw out, one, the runtime, and two, add places for kills. Which in this type of movie, I don't hold against it. You know, if you're going for a horror comedy, that's what you need. You need places to throw the kills. Because that's the whole point. Your whole point is to throw in a bunch of kills that are creative and hilarious, and kind of like the first Terrifier, where there is no plot. There's a general story. There's no overall plot.
From what I understand, they didn't introduce plot until the second movie.
That's correct. And that's the difference between a plot and a story. You know, a story is just A leads to B, B leads to C, C leads to D. But like a plot is like, there's reasons why. There's like a drama curve to a sense. There's that, you know, that little pyramid that made you draw in school for making a story. It works closer to that when there's an actual plot with like reason and detail and cause and effect. Otherwise, it's just this shit happened and we need to just get to the kills. But yeah, and that's a weird. We can discuss Terrifier and the Terrifier 2 in a different time, because that is a conversation. But I feel like the story is told a little too long in this movie, as just an excuse to draw out the.
I have to admit, I took a break like halfway in to like, you know, get something to drink, smoke a cigarette, etc., etc. So like my and that was at the halfway mark.
Yeah.
Right. So I was kind of like that was the perfect spot to have an intermission, despite it's only a 2-hour movie. Well, 1 hour and 47 minutes.
Yeah, it's 140. It's 100 minutes. Which I think is on the high end of good time for a good horror movie. If you can stick your horror movie between 80 and 110 minutes, I think you're good.
Yeah. And 106 or 107 totally fits that bill.
Yeah.
So do we feel like it gets a star for the writing?
I will give it a star with an asterisk. And here's my only cause for the asterisk. I don't like. So what we've not discussed in this entire 50 minutes we've been talking is the killer. We haven't discussed the killer that much. So much is happening because of the kills and the things the killer has done, but we haven't actually discussed the killer itself. So real brief, the killer is John Carver, which is like the historical figure for Thanksgiving or whatever, and it's somebody in a John Carver mask, right?
Right.
And they're using this as a disguise to do their revenge tour or whatnot. And that's really all you get for the killer. As they are progressively trying to discover who is and who is not the killer,
like Eli Roth had someone different for every shot that they showed the killer.
Yeah. And I think that's
right,
good for
because
the
they
visual.
wanted to keep you guessing.
That's good for the visual. It kind of works the same way. And I keep going back to this movie. It works the same way for Ghostface and Scream, because sometimes you'll look and Ghostface is clearly 6 foot tall, and then the reveal of the killer is like 5'5". But it throws you off. It's done that way on purpose so that you don't immediately be like, oh, it's someone short. Must be one of the short characters. You know, or you can keep all your characters the same height, but that's harder to do. I digress. But when we get to the reveal of who the killer is, there is very little that backs it up. You know what I mean? I always say that a horror movie is a movie that you watch twice, right? And the reason we say you should watch a horror movie twice is because first time you gotta forgive Sako. She's recovering. She's been sick the last few days. You watch a horror movie twice so you can see the story as it plays out. And then upon your second watch, you go back through and see if the story you watched a moment ago makes sense. See if the first watch actually makes sense. Like if you
like High Tension. Which doesn't make a lick of sense.
She knows it's a sore spot for me.
Yeah. And it's one of my favorite movies.
I fucking love that movie. I love that movie. That's why it's a whole different digression. We'll just have to. Did we review High Tension? I'm scared to do it. You
did it for a different show.
I know I did it for a different show. I didn't know if we did it.
Nope.
You guys have to find me. You know what I'm gonna do? Find me on my social medias, DL Hearn Rice. Find me on Blue Sky. Find me on Blue Sky. And about an hour after we get off this stream, I will share the link to that podcast I was on. It's no longer a show. Shout out to Don Guillory, Dr. Don Guillory, and James Sabata, who were the hosts of the Necronoma.com, who had me on the show. And we discussed the movie High Tension. I'll share the link. That should be still available.
It should.
High Tension is one of those movies that proves my point completely. If you watch the movie the first time, take it at face value. It's a fantastic movie. You're going to love it. A lot of good action. Creative kills. It's a fantastic movie. But then when you watch it a second time and you're taking everything into consideration, you realize, ooh, wait a minute.
That doesn't
make sense. Wait, doesn't she do XYZ in about 20 minutes? Well, if this is the case, how does this happen? If that is the case, how does this happen? If the killer does this, how does this character do that? Like, it doesn't make sense. And if you listen to the episode, you'll understand why.
Maybe some of it
the truck come from?
Like a vision?
Where did the truck come from?
Yeah.
All right. So I want you to take that question, where did the truck come from? Find the movie High Tension and watch it. And then just ask yourself, where did the truck come from? And if you listen to the episode on the Necronova.com, we work these problems out. Between me, Don, and James, we work these problems out. It could have easily been done and fixed. But where did the truck come from? It doesn't make sense. All of that was to say that I should be able to rewatch Thanksgiving and see little points where the revealed character who's supposed to be the killer did XYZ here and there throughout the movie. I should be able to see it, and I can't. They did one thing to set up the reveal so that the characters, so the final girl could realize who the killer was. They did that one time, for that one sake, for that sake, and that was it. Do I think the movie is fun? Yes. Do I think the dialogue is fine? I do. Do I enjoy the general plot? Yes. So that's why I'm willing to give it a star.
Okay.
However, I cannot give it a star without contention, because it is an important part that you should be able to identify the killer on a second watch, knowing who it is. And I've seen it before, and rewatching it, knowing who the killer was, there just aren't obvious signs. It should be obvious once you know it, and they're not there. And that's,
I guess,
it's the thing with me. And maybe I'm wrong.
They tried to, because like the smoke bombs and the flashbangs and all of that, like a cop would have access to those things.
Yeah, it's like the lead cop, like that's the police chief guy. That's who the killer was. I waited 55 minutes to tell you all that. I tried to not, but she spoiled it first. Anyway, it is the cop, and it turns out he was having an affair with the one dude's wife, and she was pregnant, and she dies in the stampede. So that's the thing he lost, and this was a big vengeance for that. Now, here's what's really fucked up. You're the cop. You're like the chief. Like, you could have like arrested the person responsible and like held them accountable. You are literally the cop in town. You could have just, he's the sheriff. That's what it was. You could have just arrested the guy. You could literally, you have all this information. You could have just arrested them. Hold them on charges if it was like that valid. Like, if you could have gotten those kids for inciting a riot that resulted in death and hold them accountable.
Yeah.
And you're already sleeping with the dude's wife. Arresting his daughter is the least of the concerns. Like, and there's video evidence of it all because it was all on the internet and you had access to the security. But it's fine. It's fine. You could have just.
It's fine.
That's why I said earlier. I'm like, it's a little dramatic. It was.
It's a little dramatic.
The killer went a little far, even for a slasher flick. Like, I'm just like, okay, all right, okay, that's okay.
Oh, and this probably belonged up in makeup and props, but there is a scene where he takes off his mask and he puts it on top of the oven and it melts half the mask.
It kind of chars and turns dark
and melts, like it cooks. And
I actually liked that touch.
I really liked that touch. And then
there was a point where this killer at that point kind of shifts gears, where it's like, this is a guy who's doing the things, and now the killer's about to go into his final act. Right. And that was kind of a way of distinguishing the killer into his final act. And I kind of like that little note to add in, both story-wise and prop-wise. So it fits here. It's a story element. See, it's things like that gives it the star for writing. But it's the thing about a killer reveal. If you're going to do a killer reveal, it has to make sense upon a second watch. And you should totally watch High Tension. Give me an hour after this, and I'll post the link. I'll post the link to thenecronower.com. And you should all buy books from James Sabata and Don Guillory.
Hold on. Characterization. I'm generally pretty quiet during this section.
Well, as much as I talk,
casting, like,
I feel like as a note, it was just
There are two women that are too similar in appearance. One is Jess, and the other is Abby or whatever the fuck her name is.
Exactly.
I forget.
And here's the thing. In my head, I know there's two. Because like there's like the two football guys. One's the black guy, one's the white guy. That's the only way to really distinguish them. And one's dating the white football player while Yulia, the Russian daughter, is dating the black one. And then there's Jess, who's dating Bobby at first, and then Bobby disappears, and then she ends up dating the guy who wanted her in the first place. It's like Lorraine dating Biff Tannen, but not quite as bad. Biff Tannen is so hard to bring up nowadays. I digress. This is not that kind of podcast. The friend group is kind of generic. There are some fun elements, but it's like two brunettes, the white dude, the black dude, and the blonde. And that's your friend group.
Yeah, it was kind of generic.
But at the same time, and this is, maybe I'm giving it too much grace. I might be giving this, y'all can correct me in the comments if you want. I might be giving this a little bit too much grace. But when the personalities of the characters don't matter as much, it doesn't matter to the plot. So it's kind of like we have blanks to fill in because someone's gonna die.
Yeah.
And they were bodies to fill in a blank because someone had to die. That's what that was. For the casting was fine. It was fine because you have your lead girl.
Fine. They're cute.
Girl, and then from your lead girl, you have like everyone else, which you have to fill in your stereotypical roles because they have to be distinguished. So you have your lead girl, and then brunette girl, blonde girl, white dude, black dude. That's your friend group right there. And it's just so generic that like names didn't matter. Personality profiles didn't matter. Most of them didn't come into play. We didn't even like dig into stereotypes. Nothing really came into play. Outside of your main girl being the daughter of the rich guy who dated another rich guy later on. Like it was just very generic. But again, this is like a slasher comedy. You just need bodies.
Yeah.
Body count. And I guess that's kind of what we had. That's what it was. So it wasn't significant, so I can't put a lot of weight on it, which means I don't judge it very hard. Because it didn't matter. It just didn't matter. Otherwise, I think there's generally good consistency with the characters. For what little personality traits they had, they held them. So they did the job. How do you feel about the evolution of? We'll focus on our final girl. How do you feel about the evolution of our final girl?
I thought it was poignant in that, like that ending scene where she's checking the closet and has a nightmare about being like got, and she's obviously affected by
the events
of the movie.
I don't know if this makes her stronger, but it
makes her paranoid.
It does change her, but I would expect there to be like usually a final girl has sort of a heroine's journey, and she gets stronger after the fact. Laurie Strode, Sidney Prescott, Julie James from I Know What You Did Last Summer. They all go through that arc where, as the franchise continues, they get progressively stronger. And this is why I got my phone now. I heard rumor that there is a Thanksgiving 2 coming out sometime soon.
Oh.
And I'm trying to check to verify.
Cricket.
All right,
Yeah.
so there's supposed to be one released this past Thanksgiving.
But they're behind?
I just figured Sako would talk while I was searching. So.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's me.
So I think there was supposed to be one that was released this year, but they I don't know, they're delayed. Yeah, there's production issues, so there's delayed. So the release date is pushed back to next year.
Yeah, okay.
And the Mario Brothers are fraternal twins.
How about them dolphins?
The real ones that escaped when the world was ending in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? Those dolphins were smart. It's fine. No, so yeah, there's supposed to be a Thanksgiving 2. Originally slated for this past Thanksgiving, obviously didn't happen. So we'll see what happens. Film industry is finicky.
Finicky at best.
But no, otherwise the evolution of the lead character I think was
enough.
Fine. It was fine.
It was.
I just don't think there's enough real energy placed on the people. You don't really have to care about them. You just need to know the role they play in the overall plot. So I don't think there was enough put into the characters because it ultimately didn't matter. None of the characters really mattered.
No. POV. I think it revolved around Jess.
Mm-hmm.
But it was probably third person ?
I think the real. Yeah, I'd go with that. I was gonna say I think the real main character is PriceSmart. Is the store.
It's the store. Yeah.
It really is, Jess. I'm kind of being facetious, but I think PriceSmart is almost a character in its own right. And I have nothing to really back that up. Apparently, Sako's face disagrees with everything I just said. Like she has a sneeze. That's like
I had a sneeze coming, and and it's gone now.
Yeah, I could tell. I just had to give you shit because I turned around and looked, and your face is just. You are welcome, Jenny. You're welcome.
Jenny, you are welcome.
You know, Jenny, it's not really fish we should be discussing. It's werewolves. That's who we should be discussing. Werewolves.
Werewolves on Friday.
They don't appear in this movie at all, but they might be part of the conversation this coming Friday.
Woo!
Where I think that Jenny could be our guest.
Friday, Fear Day. Friday.
There you go. It's like, thanks, Sako, for highlighting my typo. Good job. So here's a question for you, Sako, real quick. Because the characters overall were so insignificant, and I guess I can just ask your view on this. If the characters were that unimportant, does it get a star by default, or does it lose a star because there's no emphasis on character?
I think it shouldn't get a star for characterization.
I agree.
I don't think we should dock other stars.
No. But when it comes to characterization and building character and having these obviously character-driven traits,
I like
There
a
weren't any.
character-driven movie, and
This wasn't it.
this wasn't it. Yeah.
That's the thing. And it's not like the characters are bad.
Mm-mm.
They're just not developed. They
Yep.
are kill fodder. They are there because obviously there needs to be someone for something to happen to. So you have to put people and characters in place for things to happen to. Because that's the thing. Like when you're putting your stories together, something's got to happen, and it's got to happen to someone. And it's a matter
And
of
they have to react.
Yes, and it's how does that certain someone, as opposed to anyone else, respond to the thing that's happened to them.
Right.
And that's
they don't just sit there and take it. Like there's something has to happen.
Any book, any movie, of any genre, of any sort, at any time, regardless of the genre, regardless of the setting, male, female, otherwise, human or otherwise, it doesn't really matter. That's your generalized plot. Something's got to happen. It's going to happen to someone, and it's what's special about that someone that makes your story worth reading or your movie worth watching. And while I don't think there's anything wrong with the character of Jess,
Mm-mm.
I just don't really see how this was super.
The supporting characters don't support enough.
No, and it's like honestly, Jess wasn't
Except for
even
Scuba.
Like, she was just kind
Scuba
of there.
was pretty supportive.
Scuba was probably the best character, and because he had a bit of a personality, he did watch his girlfriend get like die right on FaceTime. He was the one that he actually had, I think, more of an arc than anyone else because he was trying to make the logical decisions. He was trying to motivate the group, but he was also willing to fight. He was willing to get in there, probably more than Jess was. Jess's biggest battle was which boyfriend is not trying to kill her.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh my God, it's probably my ex-boyfriend, but it could very well be my new boyfriend. And this is happening to my family because my dad made a decision and I was there too. Like it's like my friends want to go into the store and I was there too. There's ridicule against my family and I was there too. These people around me are dying and I was there too. And that's really, I feel like that's our main character. That's our final girl.
Yeah.
My ex-boyfriend's bitter. My boyfriend's mad at my ex-boyfriend for fully existing. And I was there too. Like, I feel like everything that's an element of hers only really involves her because she was there too. She needed to support the supporting characters and she didn't. Like she didn't
get it. Yeah.
She was there too. Again, this is not a fault of the acting.
No.
This is just how they were written.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Scuba was. I feel like Scuba, the actor who played Scuba, was probably given the same blank kind of character, but acted it better. He probably just did a better job acting. I feel like just by watching it, I feel like the other characters did the job as they were told to do, as they were directed to do, which is what you want an actor to do, generally speaking. You want an actor that's going to respond to direction. Right. So if you're an actor out there, this is not your stage. This is not your stage to perform per se. Do what the director wants you to do. But I feel like Scuba at least took it and played it really, really well. Like he took the chicken shit and turned it into chicken salad. Still didn't taste good. There was no salt, but it was still chicken salad.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with you that if the characters overall are so poorly developed, then no star for characters.
No star. So 3-star movie.
Still a fun fucking movie.
Yeah.
Again, let's always be very clear that whatever star rating we give our movies is not indicative of whether or not you should watch it.
You should totally watch it.
I
Like now.
I I watched Sharks of the Corn the other day. I watched Sharks of the Corn, which is a
I
like a
heard about
parody.
it.
This is Jaws meets Children of the Corn, and it shouldn't have. But I watched that. I watched the whole thing. Would I tell you it's a good movie? No. Is it? Should you watch it? Absolutely. Because regardless of what you think about the writing or the acting or any of the practical effects, here's what did happen. Someone sat down and wrote a script. Someone convinced other people to produce it. Someone convinced other actors to portray it, and these people put in their effort. Filmmaking is an effort and deserves the time and attention for someone to, even if you're watching it just to tell them how shitty it is, you should watch it for that reason. Because there is still a lot of effort put into
Yes.
filmmaking. If it's a book, if it's an audio drama, whatever the situation is, someone put that together. The team was probably put together for it. A book, someone put the effort in. And that's one of the reasons I'll say this before we sign off. It's the effort that makes it art. And I won't speak for Sako, but I'm sure she'll agree. This is what we have against AI art. This is not going to be an AI rant, but when you type in a prompt, that is not effort. When you tell some large language model to give me 80,000 words where this girl does this and then does this and meets a boy, that is not effort. That is not effort. So when you're out here supporting these AI generated this and that's, there is no effort put into it. And I think it's the effort that makes art. Good art, bad art, that's subjective. Someone's going to look at a movie like Sharks of the Corn or Velocipaster or Lamageddon or Lava Lantula and look at these movies. Sharknado. Yeah. Someone's going to look at these movies and think, oh dear God, why did they bother? And it's because
it's fun.
Not? Because why not? Who doesn't want to see a bunch of sharks run through a cornfield?
I think it's fun.
Why not?
You should see our review of Velocipaster.
You should. As that was Velocipaster too. That's the second one coming. I cannot fucking wait.
Oh my God.
It's one of my Velocipaster's, no lie, is one of my favorite movies. And
I believe it.
And there's also another movie called The Farm. And me and Jason William Allen from Hallowed Hills, we talk about this movie all the time because as we make films for Hallowed Hills, we get so much inspiration out of The Farm for a movie that is as bad as The Farm. The Farm is not a good movie. It would not rank high in our grading scale.
Mm-hmm.
But you can learn, like people tell you to learn from your mistakes. There's mistakes made. Zombiever is a fucking great call. Jenny mentioned Zombiever, and that's what is that on right now? Is that on Netflix? Peacock?
Hulu?
It's streaming somewhere.
Prime?
Listen, so go watch. You got movies to watch this week. You have Velocipaster to watch. You have Thanksgiving to watch. You have High Tension to watch. You have Zombiever to watch. Zombiever is so dumb, but it's so funny and it's so good for how dumb it is. Sometimes you just have. Not everything is going to be Citizen Kane. All right. Not everything's The Sound of Music. Sometimes the hills are alive. Sometimes the hills have eyes. Who knows?
Who knows?
But you should just enjoy the effort of art making, of just artistry. And if you're out there and you want to write a book or you want to make a movie or write a song, do it. Someone's
Do it.
out there who's going to appreciate the effort that you made. You know what? Send it to me. I'll listen to it. Review it or not, it's fine. It's just, I will enjoy it. I will appreciate the effort. Enjoyment is subjective anyway. So with that, AI is not art because AI, there's no effort. But if you want to make art, just put in the effort. Just fucking do it. Someone will appreciate it.
Especially
Promise.
human-made art.
Yeah. I mean, not everything is fantastic when it's made. And if you don't get super popular once it's made, just hang out, just sit on it for a minute. Like
Chuck
Van
Tingle.
Gogh. Huh?
Chuck Tingle.
Listen, I've never met the guy, but I heard he's a fun one.
He's got to be like.
But the thing about Van Gogh wasn't Van Gogh when Van Gogh was painting. Van Gogh was like a dude who made paintings who people thought was crazy. Now he's considered one of the best. The Queen's Gambit didn't get popular until 30 years after its publication.
Mm-hmm.
Took 30 years after the Queen's Gambit came out before it became a hit because it got turned into a Netflix series, which was fan-fucking-tastic, by the way.
Apparently, Izzy is a fan of Chuck Tingle.
That's Jenny's partner. Yeah, I'm just ranting at this point. I'm just going on a big long thing. So we can just
hey, you know what? We're 20 minutes over. Like I would like to wrap up the show.
That's fine. Yeah, no, and like I said, that was my whole rant. I didn't mean to rant as much as I did, but
it's okay. I enjoyed it.
This is what the show actually is. This is what Sako and the Moon do. This is our movie review, but our main show is for that purpose. It's to motivate people who want to make the art. Make the art. Do you want to know what to do with your horror characters? Do you want to know what to do with publishing? Do you want to make a business out of things? What kind of art do you want to do? What kind of performances do you want to do? Hang out for this season because all of those things get addressed this season. We have so many people coming on our show. We have 12 episodes. 12. Counting last Friday's, 11 more. And of these 11 more, we have independent published authors. We have people who are a part of anthologies. We have people who started their own podcasts. We have people who make their own movies. We have people who are acting. We have people who I will hold this one special guest.
Hold it close to you.
I'm gonna hold a couple of guests close to the chest, but they're writers. Some that are going to be this season are going to be indies. Some of them are going to be agents in traditional publishing. We have people who do blogs about writing. We have people who do all sorts of things in the horror space, and they're all creative. So if there was ever a time to hit like, hit subscribe, and hit that notification bell to watch this show, if there was ever a time to do it, now is that time. The following 11 episodes, all things go the way they're supposed to. The following 11 episodes are going to be so informative. You're going to get so much from our show in the next 11 episodes. I promise. So like this show, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you know when our episodes go live. Share this with a friend. Let all your friends who are creative, because I know you know somebody. No, not so much you, but you right there wearing the red shirt. I know that you know somebody who is creative and needs to know about this show. You send this to them. And with that, Sako will tell us goodbye so I can shut the fuck up.
Goodbye.